Hello and welcome to another video, and welcome to the island of Bali in Indonesia. I'm at Denpasar airport in the domestic terminal, and today I'm flying Garuda Indonesia in economy class in the very last row of an Airbus A330 up to the capital, Jakarta. So I really hope you enjoy the video. It is incredibly hot and humid here. I can't wait to get on board an air-conditioned aircraft. Have fun, enjoy the video, and let's go and check this out. I'd only departed from the big international terminal at Denpasar before, so I wasn't sure what to expect from the domestic one. Actually, the domestic terminal is really rather nice, and there's a dedicated first and business check-in area for Garuda, where I inquired about an upgrade to business, only to be told it was the equivalent of $400 US. Now, on this channel, I love trying to show you the best airline cabins I can and how to get into them for as little money as possible, but I couldn't justify that sort of expense on a domestic flight on top of what I'd already paid, and economy will have to do for today. While less spectacular than the international terminal, the domestic one has a few Balinese touches of character and plenty of spaces to shop or get a coffee. For my sins, I'm afraid I went for the chain coffee shop rather than something a bit more authentic. It is so humid here. Yeah, so another moan about the humidity. You get the picture, although I'd point out it's so hot Airbuses here have to park with their flaps partially extended to stop the bleed ducts overheating in the wings. I've flown domestically in Indonesia before and noticed two ways domestic terminals tend to differ from big international ones frequented by spoiled, pasty Westerners. One, the domestic terminals are always warmer, and two, there are non-stop announcements. And that's not surprising. There are lots of flights within Indonesia. It's a country made up of 6,000 inhabited islands, and over 250 million people live there. If you visit Denpasar, you'll definitely see the Garuda Wisnu Kencana statue. It is 400 feet tall and cost a pretty cool $100 million. Incidentally, Garuda is a mythical bird found in Buddhist and Hindu mythology and gives its name to the airline, Garuda Indonesia. There's a rather nice looking lounge here for business and first class passengers, but alas, that won't be for me today. I'll have to settle with being teased by Garuda's adverts for their rather lovely international first class. Today's flight is on this Airbus A330 and leaves from the most distant gate, Gate 1. This part of the airport is thankfully fairly quiet and has some pretty nice places to sit. The domestic terminal here only has 8 gates to serve what might be a dozen or more flights an hour, so boarding is often done for closely departing flights using the same gate. Be sure to keep an eye out for airport staff holding a sign and calling the flight so you get on the right plane. You see, although only one plane can be on the stand at a time, they might board a flight to, say, Surabaya using a bus and use the same gate, but take everyone down the stairs and onto the bus. If you fly in East Asia, my top tip is to be really mindful of this practice and pay attention. People surging through your gate might not be going for your flight. Thank you. Hello. As you can see, we weren't missing out on too much with the business class upgrade not working out today. 12 seats in a 222 configuration in this cabin with an additional 24-seat cabin in the nose. There are some pretty nice bulkhead seats in economy, but I assume these are for frequent flyers as they were blocked on the seat map when I booked. Hello. This A330 has a 2-4-2 standard economy layout almost all the way down the cabin, except at the back where the cabin tapers and the configuration reduces to 2-3-2. I'd picked to sit right at the back in the vain hope of scoring an empty seat next to me. Thankfully, these back cabin seats do recline and come with a window, although it's worth pointing out this particular section appears to be a crew rest area for longer flights. Anyway, boarding was pretty efficient, although I did have a seatmate. The flight was almost completely full, which surprised me, as only one of the half a dozen or so flights a day on this route is operated by a large wide-body like our A330. A much smaller Boeing 737 is the normal aircraft. I'll say one thing, Garuda's boarding music is an acquired taste. So off we went into the hazy tropical skies bound for Jakarta, the capital of Indonesia. Denpasar and Jakarta are 610 miles apart, and it took just 1 hour and 42 minutes to fly. There's a good view of Banyuwangi Airport as we climb up to 32,000 feet, and as East Java slips by below us, it's pretty good news we avoided some storms which were still in the area. The day before, I'd arrived with Qantas, and if you've seen my video on that trip, you'll know just how bad the lightning was. The seat pitch on Garuda's A330s is a generous 33 inches, although beware of the electrics box for the in-flight entertainment, which will reduce the room slightly in window seats. The seats aren't new, but they are perfectly well padded. Even down the back, the ride is comfortable, and I was quite surprised with how much room my legs had. There's a seat back television which tilts, so even if the person in front reclines, you should still be able to watch without too much bother. USB sockets can be found underneath the seats. The flip down table is fine, but the cutout here makes me think they've designed this with some really big passengers in mind. And finally, yes, there are individual air vents in economy class, which makes a big difference. As far as entertainment goes, there's a basic moving map and a modest selection of TV and film on hand. Headphones are provided, but be warned, if you take your own, you'll need an adapter for the sockets on these aircraft. There's also an attractive in-flight magazine, which features Garuda's big route network, as well as teaching me that somewhere Garuda has A330s in an all-economy configuration, although I have no idea where they fly, perhaps on pilgrimage charters to Mecca. This is Asia, so you can expect to be fed, even in economy. Service was prompt and efficient, although there was no choice of food on this route. I'm not sure exactly what this was, but this mild curry was a really solid in-flight meal. This was a short lunchtime flight, and there could be no complaints whatsoever about the food. I don't really understand people who go on about this global citizen nonsense. We've all got our own cultural roots we can't deny, and seeing other cultures and noticing how they're different is part of why I love travel. I'm very English, and I have no idea how or why anyone could ever love this rather alien-looking dessert. But everyone else on the flight I noticed ate theirs, so maybe this is really popular here. I mean, this is a flight where nearly every passenger will be a local, so as a Brit, you can't expect your own tastes to be catered for. And coming across things you don't like is as important as finding stuff that you do. Garuda is an airline which likes to add little touches and is quite distinctly Indonesian, so it's no surprise to see their pride in winning Skytrax's Most Loved Airline award. This short flight was my first with Garuda, and I was pretty impressed. Indonesia has a lot of airlines and plenty of aviation variety, as well as a very active AvGeek community. I like Indonesia and I like its airlines, and I'll be back as soon as I can. This flight cost me £90 one way, that's about $120 US, and was good value. On time, safe with a good lunch provided, and the bonus of flying a wide-body aircraft instead of a more standard 737. These are all things we like on this channel, and I'd be keen to try their business class sometime in the future, as long as I can afford it. I'll round this off by saying a special hello to the Indonesian aviation community and a thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Cheers for now.